Hi, this is Mark Minot. Welcome to DCAA Solutions Introduction of the User Interface to Acumatica ERP. In this video, you will get an overview of the Acumatica user interface and get acquainted with the menu structure, forms, and their elements. We'll sign into Acumatica with the administrator logon, and depending upon the user role, some of the modules and menus will differ. Let's go ahead and sign into Acumatica. We'll log in, and we'll see our main screen. Okay, now that we're signed into Acumatica, I'm going to show you four main areas. They consist of the main working area, the main menu, the navigation pane, and the info area, which will be at the top right of the screen. So here is the main working area. This is the main menu, the navigation pane, and the info area, which is up there at the top right. Now let's transition into using the menu and the navigation pane. The main menu consists of two levels. The top level menu represents groups of modules that we call suites. Each suite consists of modules that provide the functionality of the system. Here is the work area, and within a live system, the work area consists of the work area, processes, reports, and configuration. We'll now demonstrate how to work with typical data entry forms in Acumatica from the general ledger. I'm going to switch to our live system. What we'll do is typically you'll select finance, general ledger, and journal transactions. We'll leave this page and go right into that module. Journal transactions are typical data entry forms in Acumatica. Data entry forms are used for input of documents such as journal entries, sales orders, and payments. On any form, we have the title bar, which has additional functions related to the forms, such as notes, activities, customization options, files, and help. The availability of these functions may vary by form. The form toolbar, which provides buttons that you can work with. Through the use of the form, this includes standard navigation buttons, such as saving, deleting, adding a new object, and the main area of the form, which typically includes summary types of information, and then the detail area of the form. New object creation. Let's create a new batch through this form. Now in the info area of this form, we can change the date that is used in new documents. So we'll go to our system here and I'll show you how this is done. I'm going to go back and forth, but here we'll go back to the 28th. I select it, hit OK, and notice on the form it's back to the 28th. We're going to use the March 28th in this example. Select it, go back, and here we are, we're ready to go. Let's add a new record. To insert a new record, click Add New Record on the toolbar. The parameters required for input are marked with an asterisk. The gray asterisks mean the system has inserted the default value for the required parameter. And you can change these as needed. The new placeholder means the system will generate the value automatically for you as soon as you click the save on the document. This is based on the numbering sequence specified in the module preferences. This placeholder is typically used for document numbers. Because we're creating a batch, we have to add transactions to it. To populate the table, click Add Row on the toolbar. Here we've already clicked the add and are ready for input. You can also click within the table to insert the first row. Then we're ready to specify values in the columns marked with red asterisks. In the account column, we start entering the account number or description. The selector automatically displays the records that are to be included in the entered area. You can also press the F3 key to open the list of accounts. You can use the tab or enter to move to the next column. Press tab to move to the sub-account column. According to the settings in the system, sub-accounts can be divided into several segments. Point to one of the segments and press F3 on the keyboard to select a list of segments and select one. To delete a record from a table, select a record and then click delete on the table toolbar. If a table has numerous columns, you can switch between grid and form view. And then we're back to grid view. Columns rearrangement. Here we're going to switch to our system. In columns, once I have a item in my accounts, what I can do within Acumatica is that I can add multiple rows in here. You can see as I enter these what can happen. Column rearrangement is very cool within Acumatica because I can select here, and what happens is we get the columns configuration. And as an example, I'll take off unit of measure. So we'll see here, unit of measure is right here. I'll take that off. And maybe I'll just want to rearrange quantity up. And maybe we're not working with projects. Deselect that, hit OK, and now you can see that my columns have been rearranged. I can also move the column width. I can move them around and get the form to be used exactly how I like it. Warnings and error messages. When you're entering data into the form, the system will use a yellow warning symbol to inform you about any potential mismatches. Here we get the transaction date warning message that is outside the period range. Despite the occurrence of this particular warning message, the system still allows you to save the data. Here in this next, we're going to enter a wrong account. And we get a red error message, which means that it's incorrect. It won't be entered into the system. To fix that, enter the correct amount and click Save. What happens is that the data in the summary and the detail area will be saved to the form and into the database. Attachments. You can also attach files to documents by using the files. Let's attach a Excel file from our journal transactions. We'll go to Files here on the form, go to select the Browse button. We can select Journal Details here to support the form, or by selecting this I can upload it. But check this out, I can also from anywhere drag and drop it into files, and you'll see that I've got the files parentheses 1, which means there's my file. Copying a record. On most forms, the Forms toolbar have buttons for data navigation and manipulation. So for example, you can select the clipboard icon, copy, create a new record, and paste. Inquiry form as the primary view. You can configure the primary view and representation of data entry forms so that users start to work with lists of documents after opening the form. In Acumatica ERP, you can go to the customer management module. We'll select cases, and you can see that the primary view representation of data is done in columns. For example, select cases from the customer management module. You can see the cases are displayed primary on the inquiry form, which is divided into tabs. Each tab is a filter, so you can sort it ascending, descending. You can find a very specific data. You can quickly search for a record, and then if you want to view or edit a record, simply select its link. Searching for a document. There are several ways to search for a document in the system. Let's say that we want to find the bill number 23 in the accounts payable module. What I would do is go to Finance, Accounts Payable, and select Bills and Adjustments. In the reference number, what we're going to do is select the icon. This brings up the lookup dialog box. To search the value in the search box, start typing the string you're looking for. So in this instance, we'll type in 023. The table will display all the results containing that string, and you can see the bill with that reference number 000230 at the end of this list. And we'll just select that one. Full text search. You can also search for any document from any form by using the full text search capabilities. We'll type the reference number, and the system displays all items containing that reference number. Select it, and here's our document. Collapsing work panes. Now, when you're doing some data entry, sometimes you might want to give more view to the detail area by collapsing the area. To do this, what you do is you select the arrow right here in the upper right-hand corner of the summary. You click it, and you get much more area down in this area. To deselect it, I can get back to my summary information. I also can do that with my left navigation right here by again selecting it, and I've got the entire screen, and then to get the left navigation pane back, click it And we're back. Sorting and filtering records. In any table in the system, you can sort the columns by one column or multiple columns. The way that I do that, suppose I want to find transactions in this example that are less than $500. I'm able to find those transactions, and then let's say that I just want to look at, using this example, items that contain small. I might be looking for something in particular. What I'm able to do is sort and search those transactions, narrow it down, and find what I'm looking for. If I want to go back to the original form, I simply clear the filters on each column. And we're back to where we started. Inquiry forms. In the Explorer group of the Work Area tab, there are inquiry forms. On an inquiry form, you can select data by the specified criteria. So, we're going to go to the account summary. We're going to select the cash asset group. You can see the data is filtered, and then the summary of that account that belongs to the cash comes up. Now you can export this data to Excel by selecting that button, and hopefully that doesn't run too long. Excel will come up. But also what's really exciting about this is that you can also create a filter. So we'll select the filter icon, we'll add a row to the filter. What we'll do is select a property, and then we'll select any value. And what we'll do is save this value, this filter, and we'll just call it current records. And what happens is that filter now becomes a tab on the inquiry screen. And here's our data, so that you can keep those filters. Here's all our records. Here's the records in the filter that we just created. This is Mark Mine, and this concludes part 1 of our introduction into Acumatica. We covered quite a few areas. Look for part 2 on best practices and more advanced features. In this part 1, we looked at signing into Acumatica using the menu navigation pane, creating new objects. We spent some time in accounts payable. We looked at journal transactions. We looked at the red and yellow error messages, sorting and filtering records, being able to create tabs off of new filters, full text search, inquiry forms, the menu and screen parts. We also reviewed column rearrangement, attachments, which is very cool within a browser to be able to do drag and drop. Increasing workspace by collapsing and expanding work panes, and again, searching for documents, and then finally copy and pasting. Thank you very much for spending time with DCAA Solutions. This is Mark Minot signing off for now. Please look for part 2 on best practices. Have a great day. Thank you.